So next we move on to the properties of the nerve fiber. Maybe this is not mentioned in the syllabus, but this whole chapter is based upon the properties only. So here, as you see, the first one is the excitability. Now what is excitability? And in the form of a term you must be knowing it, what is the meaning of excitability. But from the point of view of this chapter, now here as we are talking about the nerve fiber, when the nerve fiber is stimulated by a stimulus of adequate strength, then the nerve fiber comes in the state of local excitation. Okay, so threshold stimulus is required to bring the nerve fiber to the state of local excitation in response to that stimulus. Now the stimulus, what is the stimulus? This stimulus may be, it can be mechanical, for example कोई injury हो गई, it can be chemical, some acids or gases, it can be electrical or physical. Physical means heat or cold, humidity and pressure in nature. So maybe the stimulus can be of either type, but the function remains the same, that this brings the nerve fiber to the state of local excitation. Now let's move on to the next property. It is called as the all or none principle. It means either the nerve fiber will come to the state of excitation or it will not excite at all. So this is the meaning of all or none principle. Let's see what is written here. A minimum strength, so of a stimulus called as a threshold stimulus, usually a sudden rise in the membrane potential which gives 15 to 30 millivolts, increases in membrane potential from minus 90 volts to minus 65 millivolts. This must be applied to the nerve fiber to bring it to the state of excitation. Any other stimulus with a strength below the threshold stimulus value will cause no excitation, and if the stimulus is more than this threshold stimulus, it will bring out the similar excitation. It means that there is not going to be there will be no change in the degree of the response. So if you have not understood, I'll just explain it again. A minimum strength of always a minimum strength of stimulus is required to bring about the excitation, and it is said this is the threshold stimulus. And what is this stimulus? For example, rise in the membrane potential. Nerve fiber membrane potential rises, it becomes from 15 to 30 millivolts. This increase in the membrane potential from, otherwise it is minus 90 millivolts to minus 65 millivolts. Now it becomes 15 to 30 millivolts. This must be applied to the nerve fiber to bring it to the state of excitation. And when if we increase the stimulus, it will not bring about more excitation because it has already reached that stimulus, that threshold. So this is called as the all or none principle, all or none rule. Now you can say, let's move on to the resting potential across a nerve fiber. So I'll just show you in the figure also. Let me just see. They are saying it in the figure 4. So we will see in this book what is given in the figure 4. So here you can see this is the figure 4, and here you can see the diagram here. So now outside there are sodium ions, and outside the nerve fiber also they are there, and inside the nerve fiber also they are there, and potassium ions also outside and inside. And how the potential difference changes by the movement of the sodium ions or the potassium ions is actually the sodium potassium exchange pump, okay, which will bring about the depolarization of the membrane. So let's just see here only. Now if you see the resting potential across a nerve, first of all, what is the resting potential across a nerve fiber? The nerve fiber is covered. Now we know that outside the nerve fiber there is present a neurilemma is there, okay, and you can say which separates the cytoplasm from the outside there is extracellular fluid. Both extracellular cellular fluid and the cytoplasm, the neuroplasm, have different properties. Their properties are totally different. Use of the micro electrodes have shown, this is an experiment done, that cytoplasm just beneath the neurolemma of an unstimulated nerve fiber is electronegative. So inside it is electronegative, and outside in the outside the nerve fiber, it is the extracellular fluid is relatively electropositive. Now why inner side is negative? The type of potential which exists there is minus 70 millivolts to minus 90 millivolts, okay, relative to the outer side. This potential difference across the membrane is an, you can say, in unexcited nerve fiber is called resting potential. So this always remains. Actually normally the inside is electronegative, outside is electropositive, and the, you can say here, the potential is minus 70 to minus 90 millivolts inside relative to the outer side. Okay, so this is called as a resting potential. Now giant squid is an example because there are large, you can say, nerve cells are quite large in size, and the resting potential is there. This is an example they have given. So you can see here they are saying in the unexcited nerve fiber it is called as a resting potential. So this was, this is regarding the giant squid only, but here now the resting potential is called a polarized nerve fiber. Such a nerve fiber is said to be the polarized nerve fiber, which has the resting potential which I have just given you. The value of the resting potential and a membrane with the resting potential is called as a polarized nerve fiber. Such a membrane is called polarized nerve fiber. Now the value of this resting potential is mainly determined by the potassium ions, which is, you can say, which are more permeable to potassium ions. More permeable, as you can say, the membrane is more permeable to potassium ions. Another peculiar property of the neurolemma is the presence of protein channels. There are present protein channels, like there are sodium channels and potassium channels. Sodium channels are about, on their size, this is given here, you can see, and the potassium channels are even smaller than the sodium channels. These channels are called as the gated proteins, while whose gates are extensions of protein molecules which open or close according to electrical potential across the membrane. So they are called as a voltage gated channels. Now I'll just show you, there's a diagram given in which potential gated channels are shown. So here you can see, this is the outside and this is the inside of the nerve fiber. This is the resting nerve fiber where the sodium gates are closed. You can see this is the this is going to be activated if at that time this is going to open. Outside sodium ions, inside there are more of the potassium ions, and you can say that the potential difference across this nerve fiber is minus 90 millivolts. Such a nerve fiber is said to be the resting nerve fiber. Now this is the activated. When it becomes activated by any type of stimulus, then you can say the sodium ions from outside start moving inside. So inside will become electropositive. From minus 90 millivolts it reaches plus 45 millivolts. So then this is the state of depolarization. So this is the state of depolarization when the ions move inside. Outside will become electronegative, inside will become electropositive. I'll just stop here.